All right. And going into the last topic for to with this week's report is the riots in Northern Ireland. And so I hadn't really known too much about what was going on in Northern Ireland or the UK particularly. I followed it for a few months during the pandemic. I was watching some of the live streams from the UK Parliament and things like that. And so I had a general tangential understanding of some of the politics and things that were going on in the UK. However, I didn't really understand what what this whole no deal, no or deal Brexit was about. And one of the issues that came up, and this someone quite cleverly reported that it was something that would be an issue with Brexit. And the issue with Brexit is obviously the country of, well, the countries of the UK, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and Northern Ireland. The first three don't share a land border with any EU member countries. However, Northern Ireland, obviously being north of the Republic of Ireland, shares a land border with the Republic of Ireland. And so that brought up a very interesting uh, conundrum for UK lawmakers. And I think it dates back to the tenure of Theresa May, who couldn't necessarily figure out how to make that EU compliant. Um, and Boris Johnson has kind of done back and forth wiggling on it, saying that there would be no um, checkpoints and things like that. But if Northern Ireland remains a part of the UK, there has to be checks and on goods that come from there. And so some of the proposals for um, or what has been happening with Northern Ireland is that there were going to be a border at the ports in Northern Ireland and in the UK, which would be divided by the Irish Sea, and that really made a lot of people in Britain unhappy. And so, and obviously, many of the people in Northern Ireland. And going back to the Brexit issue, a lot of people in Northern Ireland and including Scotland as well voted to remain in the uh, in the European Union or the common market, as it's been known to be called, uh, across the pond. And so, some of the issues that have come with that is obviously, as I previously mentioned, that there has to be a border between EU member countries and non-EU member countries. And so, for there to be a check, there either has to be, as I said previously, there has to be a check either between Great Britain and Northern Ireland in the Irish Sea, or there has to be, which is very unpopular on both camps, in Northern Ireland and in the Republic of Ireland, is that there be a land border. And for those of a certain age, they will remember a period of time in um, UK and Irish history of the Troubles, which started, I believe, in the late '60s or so, and lasted until about the middle of the '90s, and ultimately was concluded with the Good Friday Agreement, I believe, in 1999 with the Blair government. And so, with that, a lot of people will be very unhappy with a land border separating Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland because it's going to go straight through many communities who have different allegiances to one side or another. And I believe the third option, aside from the Irish Sea border and the land border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, is that some have floated the fact that maybe Northern Ireland should just reunite with Ireland as a whole. And that obviously pissed off just a lot of Northern Ireland, because that was the whole point of the Good Friday Agreement, is that they wouldn't be forcibly reintegrated into the Republic of Ireland if they didn't want to. And obviously, a lot of Northern Irish citizens are uh, loyal unionists. I mean, anti-unionists who are loyal to remaining in the United Kingdom and not being a part of the Republic of Ireland. And that dates back to a lot of cultural and historical events that have happened between the two communities in Northern Ireland and Ireland as a whole. And so basically, you have this unwanted population and territory in the United Kingdom who really have an uncertain future, because a lot of them are getting ultimately what they don't want. They're getting voted out of the European Union, and they might get voted into the Republic of Ireland, which there are I guess sizable populations of Catholic Irish who would probably enjoy that. But there's also the clear majority of Northern Irelanders who are Protestant and want to remain in the union uh, of of the UK. And so there really isn't any clear or favorable position to take that will satisfy all sides in this agreement. But obviously, the events of the past few weeks of youngsters and young adults throwing petrol gas, Molotov cocktails and bombs at uh, public buses and at police and things like that is obviously something that you don't want. But this is kind of the consequence of the Brexit vote for the Northern Irish, who believe that their lives, along with other citizens of the UK, would be better, and is not. And so you kind of have this forgotten population of people who are essentially unwanted with their own government and with the international uh, community of the EU. And so there's going to be a lot of wiggling and uh, political speak about what needs to happen, but it's just very unpopular. All the options that are presented, not only for Northern Ireland but for the UK as a whole, and this is actually kind of triggered renewed, I guess, pressure or favorability for a second Irish uh, independence vote, and that is a whole nother can of worms that I'm just gonna touch on a little bit. But obviously, the I believe it's the SNP, Scottish National Party, who want to get another vote on it, and I believe it was fairly close the first time when the residents of Scotland voted to remain a part of the United Kingdom. And that was kind of the fedangling of David Cameron, the prime minister at the time, who correctly predicted that the people would want to stay in the uh, United Kingdom. Sorry, get my initials and abbreviations all mixed up here. But so ideally, what I believe the SNP, the Scottish National Party, would want is a vote to leave the United Kingdom and join the European Union. And that is something that I don't see how anyone can really get over and see that happening in a conventional way. First off, I believe the Prime Minister of the UK has to allow the referendum to take place. And so legally, I don't think that the S&P could do it in and of themselves. And Bojo, aka Boris Johnson, has already announced that no such vote would happen under his government, period, nonstop. And so if they did have the vote, I believe it would probably will go to the court, and the S&P and the Scottish government would probably lose, and so it would kind of be a situation of Catalonia having a referendum vote and it basically being meaningless. And so, um, I think the Scots had I think the Scots had their opportunity back in 2000. I want to say 15, which was about 6 years ago now, and they voted to stay. And I don't think you can keep coming back to an issue, when it seems more people have done the do. And so I think that this whole breakup of the EU, I think it has been vastly overstated, but they obviously have lost a very key member in the UK as a partner in not just economics but security and some of the things that have gone on you know with the international consensus and things like that. And so basically, I don't think it ends well for the residents of Northern Ireland, but I could be wrong in that prediction. And if anyone has any more insights um, or a different perspective or opinion on the issue, feel free to comment below or shoot me a message. I would love to hear more about it. I'm not entirely familiar with all of it. I've just seen the few things that I've seen on the BBC, what's happening in Belfast, but that's obviously people who are, um, and for lack of a better word, more invested in the issue than I am. And so just let me know.